out of here.
You'd think they'd be playing against CLG or something. Come on. But yeah, Nidalee was so much of a menace. Game number 2. It's a problem.
Was like 8-0.
It was.
I'm pretty sure he was.
It was like 8-1. He wasn't.
Did he have a death?
I think he did. He did.
Okay.
At least one. So he's not. Yeah. He is a mere mortal. I mean, he can be stopped. It's just why.
Okay. I thought he was going for hardcore LoL mode where you can only die once.
Respawn.
You have one life and then you don't respawn. But
and then people hack your account and take all your IP.
But now this is an interesting situation because Fnatic, they needed to ban off Nidalee. Like that is, it was a brutal matchup for them. It was just so much control for Eclypsia.
Yeah.
But Rengar is open. They first picked the Skarner. Skarner is a very strong jungler, but Rengar is open, and Eclypsia, they're actually not taking it.
Well, remember there was the patch last night. Rengar did get a small nerf to his kit. His Q doesn't damage as much as it used to. It's not.
I thought it was just his W that reduced some damage. His Q still has the same amount of damage. It's just a couple, like 2-second longer cooldown.
I thought there was some tweak. There was like some miscellaneous tweak, but Jace is still up.
Yeah,
that's
Jace
also
is up.
Huge.
Yeah, and that's going to be very strong for them regardless. They have Jace and Ezreal, so those are safe pickups. I still think that with the nerfs, Rengar will be very strong, particularly in the jungle, because being able to go invis and then just hunt someone down and kill them is just so powerful. Fnatic, we'll see if they grab him. I'm sure they'll be happy to take him. It's interesting because it means that Rengar will have to go in the top lane, so it will be Rengar versus Jace if that's the case. Top lane Rengar is very strong, but not quite the same strength that we've seen out of the jungle. They're just going to go ahead and pick it. So there it goes. They have Rengar on their team. So Rengar and Skarner, some very strong champions right now.
Zyra also picked up for Fnatic. Not sure yet, though. Could be going support. Could be going into mid. Almost certainly in support. But, we're still only so far along in the picks. It's a possibility it could go mid. Have to mention it.
Yes, I want to see EC go for that Blitzcrank and just, be like, okay, if you want to send Zyra bot, we'll throw Blitzcrank again. But I don't know. We'll see where they're going with this. They do have a couple of options right now. Both teams do have a couple of options. They're very flexible. Malphite could work, but they can kind of decide where they want to go.
Malphite with Orianna.
Right, yeah, that actually would be strong.
That works. It's a pretty huge combo, a great common combo.
The nice thing is it keeps Orianna off of XPK because Orianna with the Rengar, if Rengar gets to engage on the AD carry with the Orianna ball and then an instant Orianna ultimate from an Invis champion, you have no idea that it's coming.
Yeah, that
would be devastating. So that's actually, I'm assuming that's their thought process. So it's Orianna is a very strong champion. The Malphite combo will be nice.
I remember on the recent episodes of Homework.
Yeah, we had that one match where
we had the one
the Shen Rengar.
Shen Rengar, but someone in the comments actually mentioned Rengar Orianna, and he calls it the invisible vacuum.
Oh God!
And he's getting a special shout out at the end of the next episode. I'm telling you, that blew my mind. I'm like, wow, I didn't even think of that. Diana and
it's a good combo.
Being picked up here for Fnatic. So it will be a support Zyra. Gonna be seeing that again. Diana in the mid. And Sivir is gonna be brutal. Whenever you see a Sivir picked, and that's somewhat indicative of looking to push, because that's one of the best things that Sivir can do. And especially when you have someone with a hard, a semi-hard stun like Zyra, you're keeping them in place. Yep. Every time that comes in, that's guaranteed both hits the boomerang.
And they're looking at the Draven support, possibly. Maybe even the Varus support. I guess they were considering it.
Well, Yorick support, though.
Yeah, they could run Yorick support. They could also run Jace support, actually. But, it's... we'll see. The nice thing about the Yorick support is he's a tanky body. So they are actually, it's either Jace or Yorick. We'll see what that ends up being. If it is the Yorick support, then Yorick will be a little bit too tanky for Zyra to bully around.
Yeah.
But Yorick can, be very aggressive as a support. You just kind of bully your way into the lane. You bully your opponents down pretty strong. But it's interesting because Sivir is going to have free mana all day, basically.
Yeah.
If she's able to, just time herself for those ghouls coming in.
Well, it's a very rough timing because when the ghouls come in, they
are instant.
They're instant or near instant.
Yeah.
At least Sivir, if you're going up against someone like a Taric, like it's predicted, or if it was Sivir actually going up against Zyra, not with Zyra, it's like, oh, I see it coming. I'm going to run in front of it and throw up my shield. It's going to be somewhat difficult, but While Yorick's stuff is instant, Ezreal is not. It's a bit of a more Twitch reaction. But if you just stand in front of the minions and eat a Mystic Shot, you can just absorb that and grab that.
It is going to be a Yorick support, though.
Yes.
And it's interesting because we have seen Yorick in Orianna combos a lot in the past as that top lane Yorick. He's a very safe champion. He doesn't have quite the same diving potential that someone like an Aurelia would have, but he's able to bait people out. He's able to just be that tanky body. You just kind of run at the enemy team. You slow them down. You can kite back and forth, and then you wait until the enemy, finally goes, all right, we give in. We'll kill you, Yorick. You've been asking for it long enough, and that's when you engage with the rest of the team.
So we will see how it works. And Yorick support, let's give the rundown for anyway. We saw the Zyra support earlier on in the series. Yorick support, let's give what is his objective as a support for anyone who hasn't seen it?
Well, like I was just saying a second ago, he's just a beefy guy that's going to slowly harass down the AD carry. It's a little bit more difficult against Sivir because, of the spell shield, but you're just going to spam those abilities on the AD carry, try and bully Sivir out of lane, and you just don't allow anyone to touch your carry. So it is a very strong support setup. It doesn't have much killing potential. It's not a very aggressive support. It doesn't have a heal for Ezreal, but the harass is very safe and very strong. If the jungle comes in, it'll be very difficult for Yorick to escape. So that's one concern. He doesn't, he can slow to get himself out of there, but he doesn't have any quick escapes, and he needs to play really close to the front line in order to act as a support. So he can't play defensively. So that will be kind of a issue there. But generally speaking, it's just a safe support. So we'll see where they're going. Fnatic has a very unusual team, though. There's a couple of assassin kind of champions on their team. So they're going to be very strong in small fights because Rengar, Skarner, and Diana are all just abusive in those small engages and early in the game. They'll try and pick up a number of kills. But once it comes down into main team fights, it's going to be kind of interesting how they run things because they're primarily going to try and kite with the Zyra, pick someone off, and then, rush on the rest of the team. Just have everyone dive in on top of, Ezreal and Orianna.
Yep. You also got the Skarner jungle. Going to be seeing him here again, but just on the opposite team, which should help. And Rengar, for most of the series, has been banned out, but he has been left open. Going to be going up in the top lane against the Jace. And so how does the Rengar Jace matchup actually work? Because Jace, he can farm from a distance, but Rengar, he can also close that gap with some brush control. What does the damage output look like for both these guys?
It's interesting because it is a pretty even lane. Jace has a little bit more harass potential than Rengar has. Rengar has really quick burst that he can take advantage of, but then Jace will just switch to melee and knock him back. So, both of them have a lot of killing potential. I think it'll for the most part be a safe farming lane. Like I think Rengar knows that if he dives onto Jace, Jace is gonna just knock him back, get some free damage. But Jace also knows that he can't really chase and pursue Rengar. So for the most part, they'll kind of sit back. I think it's a slight advantage for Rengar because of the killing potential he has with his ultimate, and combo it with a jungler coming in. Jace doesn't quite have the same killing potential, but I don't know. We'll have to see. It is kind of a skill matchup. It's a really interesting skill matchup lane because Jace, does have that long range harass and is a little bit safer, while Rengar is a little bit more aggressive, and he actually might have to bait himself into fights. So if Skarner's, or if Malphite's, sitting there watching, Rengar jumps in on Jace trying to get some quick damage, they might follow it up with a quick ultimate from Malphite for a kill.
Yep, and also you just not only with the ultimate, but follow up with the Q, make Rengar regret moving on, and is like, oh man, all of my extra movement speed, it's gone. What have you done to me? And it's just gonna be a struggle for him to get back to his tower. And also one of the big things too, we've been seeing a lot of early oracles also from both teams this entire series, and that's one of the things too that really shuts down Rengar. As with most champions that do have that stealth capability, it's like, hey, I'm gonna ult on in. Crap, you can see me. But
only in team fights.
But only in team fights, though. But
that actually might give them a false sense of security. So like you said, both teams have been going for the early oracles, which is clearing out all of the map coverage, is clearing out all of the ward coverage. However, if the oracles isn't with the rest of the team, you have that false sense of security of, oh, we have, vision. But in actuality, no one will have any wards. So it could open up possibilities for Rengar to get fed early on.
We'll see. We will see. Eclypsia looking, I think, for the point defense here once again. And wow, 3 members of Fnatic wandering on up, immediately going into the top tri-brush. I think they have a 3-man kill squad looking for an invade, possibly on the red, or to see if they can just catch Jace on his way up to the top lane.
Yeah, and right now, Eclypsia is playing pretty defensively. They don't have a very strong level 1 team. They want to allow Yorick to, or Malphite to just get off to a quick start. But Fnatic, it's going to slow down the jungle a little bit. This is one of the best ways to deal with Malphite jungle, is you counter jungle them a little bit. So that'll definitely be huge, and you know, that'll give them all a nice little advantage, particularly if Jace walks up into them. So there's a big concern, is if they catch an eye on Jace early on.
Yep. Sivir looking to join with the rest of them there on the top part of the jungle.
It is also interesting because they're going for this invade, Soaz is actually going to be able to charge his passive, which means he's going to start off early on in his lane. And once he hits level 2, he's already going to have enough ferocity to do a double Q combo. And the damage from Rengar is just absurd when you do that.
Yeah, if you've ever seen the YouTube videos, Rengar's damage capabilities with that early ferocity can be huge. And Freddy doesn't know. Very quiet. Go for the hunt. Leap on in from Rengar. Immediately flashes out of the Wraith Pit. So that is at least at the very least a flash blown for the top lane. And Jace with well, his pants are a little heavier, let's say, from that fright. But you do have Ezreal and Yorick looking for a steal onto the small golems while they know that Sivir is with the rest of the team up there in the North Jungle. And Heidel taking a quick snare, but those are some successfully stolen golems. Sivir not going to be down in time. She's not the fastest moving AD. Will not be able to put on a little bit extra damage as they return to lane.
Yeah, and even though Yorick took a little bit of damage, he's going to heal up pretty quickly, and that little advantage is going to be huge because not only did they get the minions mid, but Candy Panda missed out on a little bit of the wave. He did pick up some experience mid and actually get some quick burst on the Heidel there real quick, but we'll see how that progresses. And right now, Jace, even with that flash gone, he is trying to play kind of defensively, but he's vulnerable to the Skarner with that red buff.
Freddy got a little bit too far. You got the leap coming in. There is
the
boa. Level 1 gets the boa first, actually, for the slow. There you go. First blood with no flash. Cyanide grabbing that one. And you know, good on Soaz. Not most Rengars start off with that Q, but he went with the E. He wanted to have the slow and get that guaranteed kill.
And we saw he had the E earlier from the fight on Jace, but what he really did was he started charging it so that he would have the proc for the stun. So it wasn't just getting the slow to set up Skarner, it was he had the ferocity for the stun, the snare onto Yorick, though Candy Panda trying to get the kill. He just barely gets away. Kill War, actually, Arcane shifting in for this kill. If Candy Panda can turn this around, he has the heal from Kill War as well. They won't be able to pick that up, but that was very close.
Double heal all the way across the bot lane. Going to be used up by both of the AADs. So that's going to be down for quite a bit. XPK looking to get aggressive there in the mid, taking a few shots from the orb as he's pushing up the lane. 17 to 21. Creep score still a little bit too early to tell how that is going to swing, but that is a lot of potions being chugged there in bot. You also got Seed in that bot brush. Zyra just wants to have a little bit of vision to counteract that ward. Jace now returning to lane. He's down a kill. He's spent a lot of time out of lane, but Rengar did also decide to back. He, with the money, with his income, actually went back and bought a Doran's Blade so he can sustain, have a little bit more health. The damage and the lifesteal is going to help him out immensely.
Well, really, the Doran's Blade, it's an offensive item. It's not, you know, it's for getting kills. You want to snowball early on, and that's what Rengar's looking to do. It makes you a lot stronger in fights. The snare just barely missing on Kill War. That would have been brutal. He might have gone down to Candy Panda. But it's not so much for the lifesteal as it is the damage and health to get some quick kills. And Rengar, with an early advantage, can really bully around Jace. That's a serious concern. But Malphite coming in for XPK. XPK still has his flash, but he might have to use it here.
I'm so fresh. He's just waiting for his opportunity, sitting on the side in the shadows. One slow, two slows, but he's pretty close to tower. Actually trying to drag someone in just for an extra turret shot, and I'm so fresh will be more than happy to take that one to the face. Freddy actually does now have a level advantage. A slight XP advantage over the Rengar, but it's still nothing really to write home about, and so still has all the extra income from that previous assist. A little bit of damage on the tabs, but Synod will just run right back into his jungle with that double buff, looking for more opportunity.
Yeah, so we'll see if Soaz can bully him around, because the damage from Rengar, you know, even with the knockback from Jace, if he's using the brush effectively, he might just knock Rengar back to have a follow-up pounce from Rengar. So that might not be very effective as it progresses. But You know, right now, Malphite's coming in. He does get spotted by the ward there, so Rengar with the nice ward placement, you know, will keep himself safe. Since he needs to play so aggressively, he knows he doesn't want to bait himself into a fight.
Yep. So Soaz just going to wait, bide his time, get whatever damage he can. And Malphite, actually, he saw Malphite actually run on up. So it's safe for Soaz to assume that I'm So Fresh is there in that top rush. So he will play defensive to match that. Diana did back, bought up 2 Doran's rings. You get the extra health, AP, and mana regen. That's going to be huge in mid. And not to mention the blue buff is going to be back up in about another minute and a half. So he'll be able to grab that also. Ping down on Malphite. He's retreating on into his jungle. Fnatic doesn't know about it. So now that's all Skarner to be coming on in, looking to sneak his way on into the top lane for his try at a gank.
Ah, free mana.
Free mana. So good. So good.
Yeah, Candy Panda has been pretty safe so far. It does help counter out that Yorick, and Yorick can't get the same harass that he normally does, so he's just kind of eating through his mana pool, and that's kind of the difficulty of that Sivir pick. Sivir also gives the team a lot of mobility, so it enables them to kite even more effectively than they already have been, and later in the game it will enable really strong kiting.
XPK is now 6. He can dash into a Q target, and he's going straight on in, looking for the kill, and grabs it down to kill her very quickly. Just Q and R and done.
Yeah, once the snare hit, he was doomed. And not going for the aggressive Yorick pick-off, he recognized he probably wanted to do it, but his teammates had no mana, and so he recognized, oh, we don't have the follow-up damage. I'm just going to be tanking this turret here. I don't know where Malphite is. He had actually seen Malphite coming down through the ward that he had dropped, so really nice ward drop on his way up. But just taking the safe kill and getting out. Rengar is invis, though. He does have the snare. They're going to be able to drop tabs very quickly. The ult from Fnatic. XPK along with the pullback. Wow. Tabs will go down, and that's the threat of the Rengar. It doesn't matter whether or not you have the damage, but there's the pullback. I'm So Fresh is going to go down as well. He gets the flash, but they slow him. They pick up the second kill. Cyanide tanking, and there's the issue. Even when you nerf Rengar's damage, he still has one of the most OP initiations in the game with just being able to just dive at you invisible. Like, that's impossible to deal with at early stages of the game. Yeah, and even then, like, he took the right path. I mean, there's still some true vision on the turrets, but by the time he gets there, it's too late. You can't do anything about it. Now look at Ezreal, Kill War, actually a little bit too far up, and Rengar is going to get a jump up onto him also. Just don't get too close to the lane. Those bolas really hurt. Oh, and if he gets it, he's actually going to have enough to get the hard snare. And if he gets it fast enough, he could get the snare into Zyra's snare for the quick kill. He doesn't get him, but Heidel is still in a dangerous spot. There's the snare, the pounce. Zyra with the follow-up. Wow. They pick up the kill. That Rengar, man, even with the nerfs, he's still pretty good. And Skarner, this entire time, being a champ, taking care of the top lane. He's babysitting for the time being, making sure that, at the very least, that farm's just not going to be going completely to waste. Skarner also has the oracles, that early oracles. Whoa, Kill War getting caught in the Zyra ult. Another quick kill. That boom, those blades from Sivir, man, coming out too strong. 1-0 and 2 already. That bot lane for Fnatic. Another pull in from XPK, looking for harass on the tabs. Another Q will not be missing on that one, but Orion is not very confident in that bot lane, out of mid lane. Yeah, and right now Fnatic is just abusing Eclypsia. A lot of the issue is that Eclypsia has no ward coverage and has had almost 0 ward coverage the entire game. They need to keep an eye on Rengar, so they need pressure from Jason in the top lane to keep Rengar in the top lane, but when he leaves, they need to know where he is. And the lack of the knowledge of where he is what has allowed him to be so aggressive. He was sitting in the bottom lane, and Ezreal was just sitting there right next to him for a good minute without even recognizing that Rengar was there. And that's just resulted in those quick kills. And Rengar snowballs very, very quickly at 2-0 and 2. You know, he's going to have plenty of damage. He's close to being finished as Brutalizer. Cyanide goes for the red steal. He picks it off very quickly, and they're just lose. Fnatic is taking control of this map very in a very aggressive manner. Pings going down onto Malphite. Diana has already started to engage. There's the Orianna ult just to dissuade everyone. Will not be picking up on anyone on the shockwave. Just Diana and Skarner will be backing off. Jace top lane, looking to farm close to underneath his own tower. Kill Ward does get the ultimate down onto Enrage, looking for more poke. Summoner heal going to be used once again, but there is the exhaust followed up by the flash. Oh, Candy Panda had the shield, but didn't even stop to just juke right in front of it and raided there, but it's fine. Zyra's out to safety. But here comes Cyanide. The Impale is up. The hammer will not be knocking him back this time, but is there enough damage? Soaz with the leap, looking for more. He's taking the turret, but he has to back off. He doesn't have enough. The Ignite will actually help and get the kill. A little bit too aggressive on Fnatic. Yeah, but now XPK coming down will be able to pick up Yorick here. He throws off his ultimate so he can try and pick someone up with Ezreal, but Ezreal's just a little bit scared, a little bit too weak. Out. So they will force him off. But yeah, really nice job from Jace, you know, to counter that out. He didn't go down. Rengar being a little bit too aggressive. He was waiting on his ultimate. He was trying to charge the energy, but couldn't quite get it fast enough. So he had to tank into the turret. And now I'm So Fresh has the ultimate, finally being able to use it, trying to pick up Kill War here. XPK will drop. Unfortunately, Kill War is also very low. Candy Panda going to try and get this and uses the flash. One more attack. He couldn't quite get it. If N-Rated can pick up the kill, he could not, but he has the snare onto I'm So Fresh. The slows as well if they can grab this last kill.
And that is damage coming in from a support.
The Boomerang has it? No!
But the Ignite
does.
Ignite's got it. Wow. And that is the big threat, too, from Zyra's support, is that you still have massive, massive, massive damage output.
Zyra's base damage is absolutely absurd. Like, and that's the concern, is that Zyra, even without items, has very strong base damage. The Ezreal coming in at the last second there. I think Sivir was okay. She had just enough HP, particularly since it did the damage reduction to the minions.
It's still a frightening prospect, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it had hit her, then you know, you have to imagine that he would have jumped a little bit. That Cyanide or Candy Panda would have had a little bit of a fright, but. Really nice play so far.
Very wonderfully done, Fnatic, in pretty big control of this game. A few missteps here, just getting a little bit too over aggressive, but still very securely. It's very secure lead at this point. 3.5K, right at the 12-minute mark. So as staying here in the top lane can sustain very well. What is he itemizing into? He already has the Brutalizer and the Bone Tooth necklace, so that's quite a bit of AD. Extra armor pen and the CDR. Stealth in the brush. Jace doesn't know. Diana coming in with the ultimate and pulling him back just a little while, but that will not be enough to keep all this pressure off of you, and that is just the swarm that Fnatic is capable of at this point in the game so early on already.
Yeah, Scotty doesn't know Diana has been cheating on him, but so as dueling with I'm So Fresh, he's going to be able to burst him down a little bit. Fnatic is just in complete control of this game. 18.8K to 14.4K, and the slow onto I'm So Fresh. XPK could follow it up now. He's trying to get the Q, couldn't quite hit it, but if he gets in range for that ultimate, he still might go in. He does not, so just not quite in range. And now Eclypsia, they've been slowly falling behind. Again, it comes down to ward coverage, but Cyanide has that Oracles, which has just been, now that they won it, it's just kind of denies that opportunity. So, we'll see what Eclypsia can do to try and get themselves back in this game, but it's going to be difficult because they don't have, Fnatic has a really strong kiting team, and they also have really strong initiation. So they have both means, and as a result, they get to pick and choose when the fights are going to happen.
Take out that turret first. Cyanide with the Impale. Jace going to be going down once again. There goes the top tier 1. Just don't want any more harass on that, and Jace going down once again. He just cannot stay in the lane with all this pressure coming in. But Eclypsia are going to make the best of the situation. They can get some pressure here on the mid tier 1. They might be able to take it out, but look at all the damage that Rengar is going to be pushing on your top tier 2 with the appropriate creep support. So at the very least, Eclypsia is going to get some global gold off of this, but still though, you are more than 5K behind.
Yeah, and the issue is how strong Rengar is. With early advantage, the snare goes down, the ult from Zyra. They pick up the tower, but actually Candy Panda is very close to dropping. Fortunately, there's not a lot of mana on Yorick right now, so they'll be able to back off. And Diana, once again, being aggressive, coming in for tabs. Cyanide avoiding the ball from tabs, wants to avoid that command attack so that he's not caught off, but they pick up the kill into Malphite. And being this far ahead, they can continue to split push, and Sivir is very safe. She can split push, but it allows Rengar to just be extremely aggressive, and there's just not a good means of stopping Rengar from running around and picking up a number of kills.
I think Candy Panda derped there for a second. I don't think he actually expected the Orianna to be there. Nice spell shield, forcing out the Summer Heal, and Cyanide is there to help out. Tabs is going to be regretting this decision, and Candy Panda still somehow lives. Kill War had the Ignite going down 1, 2, third auto attack will do ya. And XPK now be pushing that lane. There's the blue steal you wanted in the first place.
I don't even think that the, Candy Panda needed Cyanide, because once he had hit the spell shield, Orianna was out of mana, and Candy Panda could just wear him down with his auto attacks.
Moral support.
Yeah, it was the moral support, and they get another blue.
Yeah, Sivir, you can do it. Yeah, you did it.
High five.
Good job. Have a dragon.
But have a dragon, exactly. They will have a dragon. He's, you know,
yes.
This is the dragon of victory.
Yes, it is. And you know, with all the map advantage that they have, they've been clearing out all the wards like a champ. Well, what little wards have been placed down by Eclypsia as like a champ. There's only one that I see right now, actually right over by the blue buff, and that's it. Just the Oracles wasn't even really all that necessary. Well, we have the God Vision. I mean, of course we can say that, but even if Eclypsia was putting down better coverage, it wouldn't have mattered. And
wards are of course sentient. They do feel pain when you kill them.
Well, if they didn't want to feel pain, then they'd be able to see further. They would be doing a better job.
But right now, Fnatic, they are pressuring mid. Soaz with the invis. Man. He does get the initiation onto tabs.
Wow.
The follow-up. That Rengar-Diana combo is absolutely brutal for Soaz to just get that hard initiation. And now they have the pushing potential of Sivir. They know that they're bullying him around in the fights. The flash pull onto Hadel. He will go down very quickly, and they can just force their way into their base.
Soaz decided to upgrade that Brutalizer into the Youmu's, and you hear that little sound every time he goes in for these kills. That's increased attack speed on an already damaging dude. That is going to be huge as the push continues on Cyanide right out in front. Eclypsia, as the game goes on, the options to defend just keep on vanishing. Freddy can't even stay behind. Freddy cannot even stay between two of his own towers. He's being chunked out so huge with Diana and Zyra on the side. Like a salad even. Just, you know, you got the dressing on the side.
Fresh wants the ultimate though. If Candy Panda can't shield this, it is up currently, so he's waiting.
He's waiting. The ultimate, yeah, both of the ultimates are up, and right now Fnatic was a little split, but too much time has been killed. They managed to keep them away. Rengar, Soaz, though, is on his own. He's looking to Rambo off a kill. Zyra's not too far away either, but if I'm so fresh, if he's isolated, he could go in for it, and nobody will play it safe.
Yeah, so really impressive play from Fnatic. You know, Rengar is just beyond fed at this point. The movement speed, like you said, from the Youmu's allows him that hard initiation. He's going in once again. He doesn't even care. Whoa. Jumping onto Yorick, picks up the kill. I'm So Fresh is vulnerable too, but they might allow him to get out of there with that ultimate.
Cyanide looking for something. He does not. The pull is almost barely not up, but he's not going to need it. I'm So Fresh was trying to use the ultimate just to get away. As I think the second time I've seen Malphite this game die during his ultimate. Impale is back up, looking for the shockwave. Shutdown at least comes down onto Diana, but Rengar grabbing the Orianna kill. Rengar goes down. Freddy getting a little bit of revenge, but it's a little too late.
Yeah, actually not a bad exchange. Diana was caught up in the Orianna ult. You know, she dove onto Orianna hoping to get a kill, but instead went down and you know, they get a 2-for-1 deal. So that's a fine value meal, but even so, it's 32 to 22.
And it's not going to happen again.
They're really just so far behind. And again, like we said before, all of the initiation is on Fnatic's side. Yes, Eclypsia, they have Malphite, who's very strong initiation, but the kiting potential from Fnatic is so much more significant that they get to pick and choose when the fights are going to happen. They get to pick off individual members, and they're just so far ahead that, you know, they're almost too tanky for Eclypsia to take them down. So I don't know, we'll see how, you know, they're going to continue to pressure it. They are setting up around the Baron. Cyanide, he has the Oracles, he can clear out some of that ward coverage, but it's just the long road to victory for Fnatic right now.
Yep. Diana, DFG, going to be getting the Abyssal pretty soon. Skarner looking to finish up on the Aegis. He's already had the Shroyas for quite a while. Plenty of damage on Sivir. Going to be looking to, he already has the Bloodthirster. Fantastic item. Going to be looking to finish up the Phantom Dancer next. And Zyra, I mean, even though, your support, you already have great base stats, just to guarantee that damage, you got the lucky pick as a third GP10 and a needlessly large rod just for funsies.
Yeah, and Fnatic actually has to split a little bit right now because Killwar, he's done a really nice job of moving back and forth between lanes and farming. So he's keeping up his farm, you know, to try and catch up to Sivir a little bit. And it's also by pushing the lanes, it forces Fnatic to slow down a little bit. However, they are transitioning to the bottom lane. They will be able to take this tower very quickly. He throws off the Youmu's trying to drop it and actually uses the ferocity. They drop it very quickly, but now Killwar is in a dangerous situation.
Yep, Killwar throws down the ult, wants to keep the creep wave away.
It's a 5v3.
There is a 5v3, but Fnatic may actually still be able to do something here because Sivir is too speedy with the ultimate. Killwar getting chunked out huge, forcing out the flash and the summoner heal. XPK maybe looking to clear clean up here, dashing down onto the Ezreal. Yorick ult goes down, and XPK got a little bit too big for his britches and falls right in front of the tier 3 tower and bot.
Yeah, just looking for a way of making that an even exchange. But the team was split, so kind of a misplay. And actually, Zyra, can he get a snare over the wall? He had the seed. If he had hit tabs, he actually does follow it up. There's the pull from Cyanide, the ultimate from Zyra as well. They pick up the quick kill onto Orianna, but Zyra actually needs to flash over the wall. They pick up I'm So Fresh, and now Freddy, he's split. He can't do anything. Yorick goes down as well. The Ignite is going to tick one last tick, and now they will be able to push in and grab an inhibitor off of this because it is a 4v2 advantage.
They might just continue to push on here. They can also grab the mid inhib if you're given enough time and poke. Candy Panda with huge boomerangs, looking to get more damage on a Kill War. Look at that. Kill War's just standing still. He's not even bothering to evade. No attempts whatsoever, and the flash. Spell Shield just for safety, and Ezreal now goes down. Mid tier 3, bot tier 3 and bot inhib now down after that push as Fnatic takes the victory retreat.
This is the victory lap, the start of it. But
yes.
They'll be able to grab the blue buff and then switch lanes, push in through the top lane, and that inhibitor is going to be brutal.
So look at where he's camping. That is beautiful. Right around that corner, expecting Eclypsia to come on in, and that is a very tight corner to go around. There's that little edge. You cannot be seen until you actually go physically in to that road.
Yeah, but so is his ultimate's down, and they didn't get the kill there. So,
yeah.
That does weaken them a little bit. Not really a concern. They can make really aggressive plays, knowing that they're far enough ahead that it won't really throw them behind, even if it doesn't pay out. And it did force Jace back. It did force out the flash as well. So that the ult on Rengar is so short, and the cooldown reduction that he already has with the Yumus is almost enough that it'll be up the next time they fight.
Yep. And you're also noticing, too, that Fnatic's really starting to tank up. I see 1-2 chain vests already on us. Actually, Sivir and Rengar. Sivir might actually just be going for the Guardian Angel pretty soon. Yes, Skarner tanking up. He's got a Negatron Cloak on his own in addition to the Aegis. And Cyanide with the pull right down there, forcing out the flash, but Jace tries to find an opportunity, trying to make plays, but he's so far away from the rest of his team and trying to engage 1v2. Tabs has no option, cannot get the shockwave down, and Yorick has nowhere really else to go. Same thing with I'm So Fresh. The ult isn't even up for him to die while he's doing it, and Candy Panda grabbing that one, and now the mid is going to fall here too.
Yeah, the mid, maybe even the Nexus, they might have enough time. It's going to be questionable, but Sivir throws off the ultimate. She says, hey guys, what the hell are you doing going after that?
Ezreal's here.
Oh, they're going to just go for Ezreal instead.
Yeah.
But they pick up the kill. They can just rush right in for the Nexus after they get the inhibitors so that they get the minions there. And we'll see if they have enough time to take it. But
they might.
Regardless, really nice play from Fnatic. And it all started with that Rengar pick. Eclypsia kind of concerned. They didn't want to play Rengar, but he was left open, so Fnatic, they were happy to take him after they already had the Diana pick for first.
Malphite uses the ult right in front of the Nexus, and they're actually doing pretty well here. XPK very low, just cannot get that kill on the Orianna. Does get back to the fountain by Heidal, a little bit too far out. Orianna is still left open, waiting to recover there in the fountain, but the damage is as such, so as with those Qs, chunking out the Nexus huge. XPK drawing everyone away, but this should be it, and there you go. GG. Fnatic moving on to the grand finals for this qualifier. Fantastic work.
Yeah, they just bullied them around the early Rengar pick. So they had Skarner as the first pick, and then Eclypsia passed on Rengar, and that was probably a mistake, but they they wanted the Jace in the top lane, and Rengar, they just let him roam, and very quickly Soaz was able to just stack up kills. I mean, he was just running all over the map. They didn't have the ward coverage for it. Huh?
Did he finish the whole thing? Did we actually still see the stats?
Did we see the stats on it? No, we don't, unfortunately.
It was pretty close.
But
if they didn't get it, it was pretty close.
Yeah, so he was able to just run around and pick up kills left and right. They didn't have the ward coverage to stop him, and as a result, they just snowballed from a very early stage in the game.
Yikes! 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 All that damage coming, and if anyone sees you in ranked picking Rengar, is like, why are you picking Rengar? Rengar, he got nerfed.